各位先生、各位女士，欢迎再次收看《音乐在进化：当代女性狂潮》节目，我是刘玛丽。今天真的非常的高兴哦，能够透过岳阳连线到菲律宾，给 Dr. Maria Christine Muyco。那她是菲律宾当代非常活跃的一位女性作曲家。那在台湾也有一些作曲界的人呢，跟她是熟悉的。那她目前任教于菲律宾大学的音乐系。教授理论作曲，还有音乐理论哦。那接下来呢，我们就来介绍一下 Dr. Muyco。我用英文来介绍。
Dr. Maria Christine Muyco is the professor of the composition and the theory department, College of Music, University of Philippines. She is the productive and awarding composer and the researcher. So, Maria, would you like to say hi to Taiwanese listener and the audience, please?
So, everybody, good morning. And I am very grateful that I have this opportunity to be here and talk about women composers of the Philippines. And I also met a lot of Taiwanese composers in the past. So I'm glad to be talking now to the audience, the Taiwanese audience.
Yes, thank you, Maria. Yeah, you said you are the founder and president of BAYI, which stands for Women Representative and Equal Opportunities in Music Endeavor. Would you like to tell us more about BAYI?
Okay, BAYI.
BAYI.
BAYI means BAYI. It's a local term for women. Women in general, like particular archipelago in the Philippines, Visayas, they term they translate woman as bayi, you know, or sometimes they do syllable doublings, babayi or bayi, you know. So I want to use that local term to use to refer to women, no? So women composers of the Philippines. So it's not an acronym. BAYI is not an acronym for Women Composers of the Philippines. I'm just translating it as, you know, the organization of women composers of the Philippines. Yes.
Okay.
Would you like me to directly talk about the organization?
Yeah. Of course, please. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, a little background, no? Because many years ago, when the Asian Composers League was founded, that's composed, of course, many countries in the Asia Pacific. It's not just Asia, it's Asia Pacific, and that includes Taiwan. Taiwan is one of our favorite.
Oh, thank you.
One of our favorite countries, and they're always very generous host to a lot of festivals. And I'd like to note also that it's a very highly cooperative organization. They all help each other. And the first president of the Asian Composers League, which is composed of more than 11 countries, is actually a Filipina. She's a woman. Dr. Lucrecia Casilag is a national artist of the Philippines. And she's the first president of the Asian Composers League of these 11 countries. So we take off from that inspiration. Of course, the population of most the senior composers are mostly male. It's really majority are male, no? But they were led by this woman composer. But of course, because of the less population of women composers, it doesn't mean that we don't have that much voice. No, we also have we were given much opportunity, and male composers also opened up opportunities for us. Although, of course, there's always this aspect of seniority. It's I think it's very Asian. No? So after many years, eventually, of course, other countries took over the leadership. No, but this is also Lucrecia Casilag has been instrumental in inviting me when I was still a junior professor, invited me to represent for the Donne e Musica, which means women in music. It's a women organization in Italy, no, of women of composers. I was so Lucrecia Casilag, instead of herself representing the Philippines, she wrote me and she said, I think it's time for the young blood to go and represent the country. So I went to Italy, and that was way back. I think it was even before the year 2000. So I went there and represented, and then Patricia Kitty is the president of that Donne e Musica, asked me if we have a women composers in Philippines organization. I said we don't have, but loosely we also like we are in a way, or collaborating with each other too in terms of activities, but there's no like specific organization to hold us, because we're all part of the Asian Composers League Philippines. We have an organization of composers that's not very gender specific, meaning like it can encompass everyone, like male, female, transgender, etc., different genders in that matter. So so to the years that happened, we are all incorporated in one organization, which is Asian Composers League Philippines, which is part of the umbrella of the Asian Composers League, composed of more than 11 countries. But eventually, I thought of organizing an event in the Philippines, where a colloquium of women composers, and that started it. And I entitled that colloquium as BAYI, means women, no? And that started, I think, people coming in and asking about what is this? Is there an organization? So, and that event was covered in a newsletter also in Donne e Musica in Italy. The newsletter is international. So that also put a foothold. No? It has started that information, that communication about the women composers of the Philippines. But many years after, that was before the pandemic started. That when we put up eventually the BAYI organization. So that's where we are now, and there's a lot of it is an interesting organization because we have two types of membership. The composers and the advocates. So advocates are those who actually support women composers. So so that's a little background of how we took off. So it did started from zero. It took over like all from the Asian Composers League down those specific. So in a way, we're still part of the Asian Composers League Philippines, but we have also a specific activity geared for women.
Do you collaborated with any Taiwanese women composer?
Because the last because festivals were done before in Taiwan, and then of course we've been working with also with like Professor Pan and other composers, but then after that we just lost touch, because we were so used to really the face-to-face when interaction when we meet in festivals. So that's it, but it doesn't mean that we really losing touch. I mean, I think it's gonna be, we might be back to festivals eventually.
Okay, we are looking forward. You said Mrs. Pan, maybe it's a Pan, Dr. Pan Shiji, maybe. I can show you the picture later. What's women composer situation and position currently more positive and promising?
Yes. It is promising because there are opportunities now for women composers, not just locally, but also internationally. So that's many years ago. I think that was 3 years ago when Manila Radio it has an international coverage. So they had a show for us, a program of women composers. So we were able to put together our music for that. And also, interestingly, curator Dayang Ireola, who also had her doctorate in Hong Kong, and eventually she just did a show also in Taiwan, for the graphic music and graphic arts and stuff like that. But anyway, she had a project for us called Music for 1,000 Bicycles. bicycles.
Okay.
So, and the women composers is a collaborative partner for that. So we created also music for the project, or music for 1,000 bicycles, where they had the actual bicycle runs on different parts of the Philippines, and they did test runs using the music and how it can become part of the choreographic, idea of distance and positions and runs, or where to go, and so how the music is actually works through space, through space between these bicycles. So that's another one. So we have this opportunity to work and collaborate with our curators, to work with radios like the Manila Community Radio. Also, we have recently the International Women's Month, which you have heard, and you'll be also linking us eventually, this, and I'm putting together already. I'm almost there for the program notes, and I'm going to forward to you. So it's positive. It's very positive. And I already see also grants that are available for women composers internationally. There are different sites to actually check on events that are open for women composers. So I think the world is catching up.
Okay. How's the quantity or percentage of female compositional major students in your studio or in your college?
We used to have very little, I would say little, it's like 10 to 15%, but now it's almost 50%.
Okay.
It's almost balancing.
Wow.
Yeah, almost balancing. Yeah. It varies, in some semesters we have more men, but I think the 50% is a good percentage that we have in terms of the population now of female students in a place. And also the faculty also, we have it's balanced now. I think it's already 50% faculty of women composers and faculty of, although most of our senior professors are male.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the similar situation in Taiwan, but Taiwan is more, maybe 80%. 80% is a female faculty, female teacher in my college. Yeah, so that's great. That's great. I think you must know Professor Andrea Veneration. Do you sing in the choir? Did you?
Oh, me. I used to be a member of the UP Kasarinlan concert group. That's an alto. But I sing with a group. My field is in composition. It's not in vocal performance.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had a stint before to be part of the choir. I had the experience of that for many years, and I eventually just did because I concentrated in my field for composing. But of course, the Andrea Venecian is also a national artist in the Philippines, and she's the founder of the Madrigal Singers.
Yes. She's very important. She is the we can say pioneer. Professor Veneration's generation. There are few female conductor also. So how's the conductor situation currently in your country?
The conductors, actually, yes, most of them are male, but of course a mix. I mean, in terms of gender, so when you say male, the different shades of maleness in terms of that, so it's but the female, I'm proud to say that one of the members of the BAYI is a conductor of the 16 voice contemporary choir. It's called AWIT, AUIT, AWIT, and it's the only repertoire they have. The repertoire they have every concert is contemporary. Contemporary music. It's all new music. That's what they do. It's a 16 voice chorale. The conductor is a woman composer, Mary Catherine Tranco, and she is also she's the successor of Professor Chino Toledo. The founder of AWIT is actually a male, Professor Chino Toledo, and he gave the baton to the leadership this time to Katz Tranco. Katz is her shortcut name for Catherine Tranco.
Yeah.
Yes. And sorry, we have a woman. We have a female choir called the Wani.
Female
And
choir.
of course, the conductor is a female, Beverly Shangkuan Cheng.
Yeah, as we know, the choral atmosphere is very strong and very splendid in your country. Yeah, when we see Mark and Jojo, my very old friend. Yeah, we know each other very, very early age. Yeah. Okay. Would you like to talk about BAYI? Any new plan in the future?
The plans that we have are still, yes, we have promising in a way opportunities for collaboration. Also, we are looking at the international possible workshopping and composing for international performers. So we're looking at the international grant recently, and I hope we get it. If we get it, we can travel and actually work with some professional players in the Asian sense, Asian instrumentalists, because we wanted to have a local flavor, in our music. Yeah? So work with those workshop. We have a plan to do workshop and also a concert, in that particular country, and have a concert there if the pandemic allows it. If not, we'll do the usual online thing, but there will be a series of talks and fora, in the process before the concert will happen. I think it's very important that we actually have a dialogue, with different composers and performers as well. It's not just between us, and it brings a lot of rich ideas, ideas, philosophy. Also, it brings us together, in different sense, virtually, or if there's a chance, face to face, where we still learn from each other through our music. And I think the idea of the womanhood itself, being a woman, has its own contribution to the specific flavor of music, specific aesthetics and sound. The sonic aesthetics is what we actually mold, as part of our being female, that contribution of the soundings of femaleness, in how you capture music and how you create and bring it forward, to the advancement of human civilization.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to know more about the future, and hope BAYI can visit Taiwan, can have any activity in Taiwan. And I really want to visit the organization you found, BAYI, and visit you and see all my Philippine friends, very warm friends.
And also, I would like to open the opportunity for us to be working with Taiwanese women composers.
Okay.
If you can link us, that would be good. And if there's a way to also an international grant that can make it possible for us to work together, that would really be very productive. Yeah. So and you can be a good bridge to all this, since you're a woman and you are productive and you are looking at international linkages. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.